right, well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Upward Scholars' first virtual coffee chat. We hope you have your coffee ready. I'm on my second cup. I'm Julie Hartstein, and I'm a board member of Upward Scholars, and I'm going to help Linda today moderate the session just to keep things moving. But we are so happy you're here. What a joyous way to start the day, seeing everybody's faces. That was really fun. So we'll do more of that later. A few housekeeping notes. All the phone lines are currently muted. When we get to the Q&A session, we'll let you know how to use the chat function. Also, we are recording today's session. So if you don't want to be seen on today's session, just disable your video. For those of you, hopefully, that stay on with the video, we really encourage you to use gallery view if your device allows you to do so, because it's so important and feels fantastic to connect with people visually and virtually as we continue to shelter in place. So before we get started, I do want to specifically call out our incredible sponsors. These local businesses and organizations supported us for our 10th anniversary event that, as many of you know, was postponed. They have continued to support us through these unprecedented times as we pivoted to support our students, as well as keeping them on track, and they've checked in with us, and we really do appreciate their partnership and support. And then lastly, before I hand this over to Linda, I want to give you a sense of what to expect today. Linda's going to spend some time telling you what we've learned directly from our students and how we have really tried to address some of the needs that our students have while keeping them on track with their studies. You'll also have the chance to hear directly from two incredible students, Marta Lily and Luis, as they share with you how their studies are going and really what's happening at home. And then lastly, and most importantly, you'll have the chance to ask your questions. Let's see what's on your mind. In addition to Linda and Marta Lily and Luis, we also have other students who are joining us today, as well as tutors. And so we really want to have a conversation if possible. Again, the phone lines will stay muted, but just use the chat function. You can send it either to everyone or host. I'll see those, and I'll do my best to fill those questions within the time we have. So without further ado, I'm super excited to hand it over to Linda, who I feel as a board member has fearlessly and compassionately led the organization in these unprecedented times. So Linda, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Julie, for that kind introduction. Thank you, all of you, for being here. Literally, like, my heart is pounding. I'm so happy, and I'm so just feeling all of the good energy and the love across this virtual space. I really do feel it, and it really means a lot to me that you're all here with us. I thought I would break the ice a little bit by maybe having us do some fun coffee mug shots. I learned this from my sister when she does these, and she's on the call too, so I would try not to disappoint. If you will hold your coffee mug and smile, and you're not necessarily going to know when your picture is being taken, because one of our board members, Manny, in the background is doing this for us. And we'll then toggle through the screens and take our pictures. So let's just smile, coffee in hand. And I've got one more group, coffee in hand. I think we got it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for playing along with me. I do also want to have all of us get a sense of who all is part of this Upward Scholars family and who all is on this call today. So I'm going to ask you to literally, if you can, wave your hands if you belong to any of these groups. And not surprisingly, many of you belong to multiple groups. So feel free to wave your hands each time this applies to you, and I'll try to toggle us through again. So if you are currently or have been in the past a part of our advisory board or board of directors, please, please, please wave your hands. Keep waving, keep waving, keep waving, because I'm giving myself some time to scroll. Keep waving, keep waving. Thank you so much, advisory board members, current and former. I love it. And now, if you are a tutor, a mentor, or have been in the past, or are even working with us on our newest pilot that I'll talk about in a few minutes, the English Conversation Partners, please go ahead and wave your hands also. Now, Elizabeth, I should see you waving your hand. There she is. Yes, Kristen. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Danielle, Ken. Oh, I love it. Thank you, Susie. Look at all these faces, and Sue. Now I'm going to move us to part of what also keeps us afloat, right? Being a nonprofit, our donors, our any type of funder, or one of our sponsors that you saw on the screen earlier. If you will also wave your hand. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Thank you so, so much for keeping us going and not just afloat, but really thriving, even especially in the face of our current crises. Now, I have to be honest, I am like a mom, and I do play favorites. So these are my favorites, our students and our alumni on this call. If you will also wave, please, so that we can all see you. And keep waving if you're a current student or if you've been in the program before. I should see Brenda waving. I see Moises waving, Luis. All right, I'm gonna keep coming over here. I see Diana waving. I hope we didn't lose Marta Lili because I don't see her now, and she'll be joining. Oh, there's Marta Lili. Okay. Thank you so much to our current students and to our alumni of the program as well. And maybe you're completely new. If you're completely new to our program and are here joining us to learn more about who we are, or if you're with one of our partner adult schools or the San Mateo Community College District, either board, staff, or foundation, will you please also wave? There's Karen. Jill, I know you're with, anybody's on staff, I should be seeing you waving. College of San Mateo, I should see Cañada College, I should see College, Skyline College also in our adult schools. I know Lionel had something come up last minute and couldn't join us, so thank you all of you who are able to still be with us this morning. And then also, this work couldn't be done because we are a really small team without the rest of the team. It's not just me. On the call with us today, we also have Milena Miyashiro, who is our program coordinator. I see her there on the bottom corner of my screen. Wave again, Milena, just in case anybody missed it. Thank you. And also, I'm going to scroll over to find Diana Vizcarra, who is our student fellow and student in the program as well. There she is on that beautiful yellow top. Thank you so much, Diana and Milena, for all you do. I think sometimes we forget that you're both part-time with everything that we ask of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart as well for all you bring to the table. So I now do want to shift gears and talk more about how exactly this current situation has been impacting our students. You know, before we even had the ordinance that asked us to shelter in place, we early on called an emergency board meeting and really wanted to bring all of our heads to the table to say, what are some things that we need to start doing now with this new news? And so one of the first decisions that we made in communication with some of you as well was to postpone our 10-year annual event celebration. We are still very much hoping that we can have that in person before the end of this year, but you know, none of us really know how this is going to pan out, so continue to be patient with us. Thank you for those of you who've continued to stay in contact and add ideas about what you think we could do if it can't be in person, and I continue to welcome that type of feedback. So once we reach a decision, we will definitely let all of you know again. At that board meeting, we also decided it was important for us to start to develop a survey that would go out to all of our students in the program to really hear from them firsthand what their current needs were and then what their perceived future needs were, given at that point we didn't know how far we would be into the shelter-in-place ordinance. And so, you know, Milena reached out to all of you who are tutors and mentors, asking you to, one, convert to virtual sessions, to also help our students to learn how to access you through virtual means, and to ask you to let us know what you were hearing directly from your tutees or your mentees, in case we weren't hearing from them directly ourselves. So thank you so much to all of those beautiful volunteers for making that happen. And Diana started, contacting our students, and obviously our students also contacting her. So it was just a really quick, all hands on deck to try to support our students the best we could. And that survey went out on March 12th, and we have had over 110 students complete that survey. Even this morning when I logged in, I saw there's 2 new students who responded to that survey. So we will look at that data later today. So what I'm sharing with you today does not include those most recent responses. But the number one concerns, which you'll probably hear from some of our students today, has been concerns, or have been rather concerns around losing wages, losing jobs altogether, accessing food, right? Really basic needs. And then as the close of March was coming and April was around the corner, being able to pay rent when you've lost wages or lost your job altogether. And since, many of our students do work in the restaurant industry as cooks or busboys or dishwashers, when the shelter-in-place ordinance took hold in the restaurants, most closed or limited their staff to delivery only, our students were impacted that much more. Our students who serve as nannies and childcare providers, where parents were keeping children home with by themselves, also were severely impacted, and domestic workers in general, and those working in landscaping, some of whom just this last week have been able to return to do some landscaping on a part-time basis. So I do want to give you a few data points. I know I'm throwing a lot of information out there, and I tend to speak really fast, so I will try to remind myself to slow down. But so far, 75% of our students did have shared concerns over losing wages or losing their jobs altogether, or somebody in their household losing a job. And 63% of our students have shared concerns over accessing food, and the same percent have shared concern over being able to pay rent in April, pay rent in May, pay rent for this coming month of June. In that same survey, we did include an open-ended prompt where students could share anything with us. And even though we have a few students on the call today, I do want to just share their words from this open-ended question to really, if you close your eyes and you just really try to put ourselves in their shoes and hear from them. This one says, as you know, the situation is very difficult and it will get worse. Therefore, my family and I are so concerned because at work, they will cut hours. For some of us, they already did. The rents are too expensive in Redwood City, and with the current situation at work, it would be more difficult to survive in this emergency. I don't like to do this, but due to the situation and the concern I have for my well-being and that of my family, I am forced to do this and ask for help. With all my heart, thank you very much. And another student says, COVID-19 is affecting me and my kids. They all go to school after school. So I have to go to work since the coronavirus, my boss is working at home and he reduced my hours and payment. I will have problems paying my rent and bills without this job. Another student shares, I need support with food, with water, and with medical assistance if possible. I don't have medical insurance and I'm very concerned and overwhelmed by the whole situation. I manage a gas station and I have to take care of the gas station and my co-workers, and I'm a single mom, so I have to be taking care of my kids as well. Since my kids are home, I've been spending more on food because they are eating 3 times more and not eating at school. I honestly live on a budget, and this month it seems like I already excess the limit of my budget. Thanks for taking the time of providing the survey and care for us. Another student says, I'm losing hours in my job. I live in a small apartment with 4 more people. 2 of them lost their jobs this week, so the income decreased for all of us. Nobody has medical insurance. We live day by day, so we don't have money saved for food or other emergency things. And another student shared, I really appreciate all the support. I live with a lot of other people, and it's been very difficult to do my midterms. There is a lot of noise all the time, so many of us. I can't focus really well. And another student says, at my job, they told me not to come back until further notice. What does that mean? Because the children's parents will be at home. I am a nanny, and they won't pay me the time I usually work. So during a normal semester, many of our students leverage our on-campus food voucher program. For some, we know that this is their only meal for the day. So not only are those students who we've already historically been helping without that guaranteed meal, but many others are also now experiencing food constraints. Again, that's 63% of our students. So this food insecurity issue is a big concern. To try to address this issue, we decided to convert this traditional food voucher program that we have with Cañada College into a grocery gift card program. And we have been able to provide at least, $75 grocery gift cards to over 70 students, representing over 250 family members on a monthly basis since March. And with your help, we will continue to expand this program. Other concerns shared by students include how would they continue with their classes when the colleges all went to online learning, and many did not have internet access or a laptop to work from. So they were having trouble with access and connectivity. That has already always been a challenge for our students, even before the shelter-in-place ordinance came into effect. So on top of that, not having access to public libraries or internet at work or school for some of them, and over half of them also having school-aged children for whom they now had to try to support in their educational systems overnight, just like those of us who are parents. We quickly then responded by providing an additional 16 students with laptops, and we've partnered with the Redwood City Library to help address the digital divide by providing hotspots to 23 students. And Diana has been key with this. We really appreciate the Redwood City Library. The staff goes to the library, gets the hotspots, brings them to her house. Diana goes to her house, picks them up, takes them to her place, and gets the students those hotspots individually. So we're thankful for this additional support from the community that we're receiving. It really does take a village. It takes a family. Thankfully, again, community resources for food and housing emerged across the county as the pandemic started. So we quickly aggregated these resources into a single web page on upwardscholars.org to connect our students to these resources. We have continued to maintain this page as resources were either tapped out or in some cases additional resources have come online. Yet we know that this is still not enough. For example, students who live many families in one apartment don't all qualify for financial rent assistance. Only the individual listed on the lease actually does. And our students who are undocumented also do not qualify for all of the local, state, or any federal support. And many have family members abroad who survive based on the remittances that our students would otherwise be sending them if they were working. It is clear our students trust us. They trust Upward Scholars, and they're looking to us for support, for guidance and encouragement during this time. And this is very difficult for me, and I know for the team and for many of us, but it is also a responsibility that we don't take lightly, that we love our students and their families, and we want to do what's best for them. At this time that this was all happening, we were also preparing, with Elizabeth's help, to launch our newest career development program, the Habla Más initiative, which many of you have helped along the way with that program. So when the shelter-in-place ordinance went into effect, we were able to successfully shift that Habla Más program, Habla Más, which means speak more in Spanish, to a virtual program so that our students who have been trained now as Spanish coaches could be hired by a number of you, thank you, to teach them Spanish. And currently they have over 25 clients that they've been able to take on. It's a great business venture for them who would otherwise not have income at all right now. So if you're interested in hiring one of them, do let me know after this call and we will help you. We know that when students return to school, our students may not have as many clients because some of them are also tutoring your own children who are not in school right now, or not physically in the building, I should say, although everybody's in school. We've also very recently partnered with another nonprofit out of Redwood City, A New Vista, and we've set up a drive-through meal program benefiting our students and also some of the local restaurants in Redwood City who are having a difficult time during the shelter in place. So last week on Thursday, we provided over 200 burritos from Sancho's restaurant to our students and their families. And we're currently scheduling another drive-through event, ideally for next Thursday as well. So we'll keep students who are on this call, we'll keep you all posted on that. I am also in very recent early stages conversations with another nonprofit that focuses on supporting middle school and high school students to see if they might be able to support the children of our students who are middle school and high school students with drop-in virtual writing tutoring in particular. So hopefully that new partnership will also take off. And speaking of students, we have Marta Lili and Luis who will be sharing with us now the challenges that they've been experiencing, and also how it is that we've been trying to help each one of them. I get really emotional when I talk about all of this, but it's really because I love you guys so much. I love all of you who are on this call. And again, my favorite are our students. And I know each of you that aren't a student feel the same way. We're here because of our students. You're not here because of me, right? We're all here because of our students. So Marta Lili, I'm gonna give you the baton next. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lina. Good morning, my name is Marta Lili. I am from El Salvador, and I immigrated to the United States in 2014 with my two daughters because our lives were endangered in our country. When I came here, I decided to enroll in ESL classes at Sequoia Adult School. And when I finished all the ESL classes there, I transferred to Cañada College to continue with my ESL classes. While I was taking ESL classes in the ESL program at Cañada College, I decided to continue my education to become a preschool teacher. So I finished all my ESL classes in 2016, and I continued my education to obtain my PASS certificate. I got an ECE certificate and the PASS certificate in 2017. And the last year, I obtained an associate degree in early childhood education and an inclusive certificate in special needs. This is my last semester at Cañada College, and I will obtain an associate degree for transfer to the university. I will transfer to San Francisco State the coming fall. But everything that I have achieved in this, in my life, in my academic achievement, is thanks to the support that our scholars have provided me. I am so thankful with them because if it were not for our scholar, I could not be here today, almost transferred to the university. I have in our scholar a family who support me, a family who cares about me. During this time that we have been in shelter in place, our scholar showed me that I'm not alone. Due to COVID-19, the preschool that I work as a preschool teacher closed. And I have been working some hours to babysitting some children to obtain some money, but the money that I earn is not enough to pay for everything for my family and me. So when Alvarez Scholar knew that many students like me were in needs, they sent a survey to the students, and I filled out the survey. And after that, Linda called me and told me that they were going to see how to help us. My husband is not working due to the COVID-19 too. So my husband is a student of this organization as well. And when our scholar knew that we need help, so they provide us a laptop to do our homework online. So they also gave it to us hotspot to have internet at home. And Linda sent us every month since the quarantine started a gift card to buy food and grocery for my family, a Safeway. So, and I am so thankful for that. They provide us also sources in where we can find help to pay our rent. So in the last week, people from the community center called us, and they told that they are going to pay the rent this month. I'm so thankful for the help that our scholar provide us. So, and I am so happy to be part of this amazing organization. Thanks to all people who support our scholar. Thank you. Thank you to you. We can continue our education and have a better future for our family and for us. Now, I want to say thank you to Elizabeth too. She was calling me many times to see if we are okay or not. Linda as well, and Diana, Milena. So all of you guys who made possible this organization to help us, I want to say thank you so much. So now Luis is going to tell you a little bit more about how our scholars support us. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, good morning. My name is Luis Romero. I'm from Guatemala, and I want to share with you that I finished high school in my country, but I couldn't attend university. So university was a faraway dream that I had. I came to this country 5 years ago because I heard about another country besides mine with more opportunities. So at the beginning, I just wanted to work, but I found something most valuable. I found education. Now, with effort and the help of many people, I am taking my general education classes at Cañada College and getting closer to my degree. What I most want to communicate to you is my love of knowledge and how Upward Scholar has made it possible for me to learn more. I have been part of Upward Scholars for the last 4 years, and the impact it has had in my life has been huge. Improving my English helped me to get a job as a server, but I haven't been working for the last 8 weeks. My future and the future of other people who work in restaurants is uncertain. COVID-19 has created a huge storm which we are all now affected by, but Upward Scholars is doing its part, trying to lead us through it. Upward Scholars has been providing me with the support and tools I need to succeed academically. Some of the ways Upward Scholar is supporting us are they are giving us some grocery gift card so we can buy some essential food. Upward Scholar keeps track of us so they know how we are doing and how they can support us. We kept our tutors and work with them through Zoom. And I think that one of the most valuable things that Upward Scholar has given me is the help of my tutor, John. Because with John, I don't only he doesn't only help me with my classes. I also can talk with him about anything that concerns me. There is also an English conversation club through Zoom where we can practice and improve our vocabulary. I also got a conversation partner, and her name is Ava, and she's helping me a lot. Last week, Upward partnered with another organization, and they gave us some burritos. And due to the actual situation, many students are dropping from their classes, but we haven't been in that situation. Thanks to Upward support. Finally, I want to share with you that I want to transfer to a university. I don't know right now what I want to study, but I do know that I wouldn't be here today telling you this if it weren't for Upward Scholars. So every time I get a book, I use my laptop or work with my tutor, it reminds me that people like you, people that I don't know, believe in me, that there are good people out there willing to help. Every one of you in the audience is one of those people because you are here today supporting us. I hope that what I said has helped you understand the difference you are making. Thanks for attending this meeting, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Luis. Thank you so much, Marta Lili. You, I think, helped to put everything into perspective for us. And I appreciate just, you are an example of all of the tenacity and grit that all of your peers exhibit, right? We're so always motivated. You know, I'm a very emotional person. You always know what I'm feeling and thinking. But many times as I've been reaching out to you, and I'm getting so much more support back from all of you as well. So thank you for that. I think now, Julie, we'd like to go ahead and transition to the Q&A. And let me unmute you so we can all hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, the three of you. That was fantastic. If you have any questions, now is a great time to open your chat window and send those through. We'll be monitoring the window to field those questions. And Linda, I know you're emotional. I don't want to make you more emotional, but I think a good first question really to get this going is, how has this been for you and Milena and Diana as you've really been on the front lines of working with the students? What's been the hardest part, or maybe the most joyous part of this?
Thank you, Julie, for that question. You know, I think some of it is as simple as a team, we weren't all prepared to work fully from home. And so we've had to, in the first few weeks of shelter in place, even figured out our own workspace, right? So I took over our small dining room table and converted it to a desk, eventually bought like a real office chair, and was able to get an external monitor and keyboard, mouse. And now the three of us have like more functioning workspace to be able to address our needs and to continue to lead this organization forward. But really the biggest challenges come when we're hearing our students and all of their lived experiences, and knowing that we also can't do everything, unfortunately, for everybody. And so it's emotional work. It's you know, we've been having to talk also about our own mental health and emotional well-being when we do our check-ins. And again, being inspired by our students not giving up. So part of it, I am crying on the phone with some students, and part of it is like not wanting to cry so that I can be that shoulder for them. But sometimes they're that shoulder that I need. And so I think it's the emotional piece of knowing that that we're all related to one another, and that we all love each other. And so when we can't do everything for everyone, or when we hear that we have students who've tested positive for COVID-19, like it's just super difficult. But Milena and Diana, perhaps you can also share your experiences. Would be great to hear from you. Maybe Milena first.
Hi everybody, nice meeting a lot of you. I haven't had a chance to meet some of the tutors, and I see some new faces, prospective tutors also that joined the call. I've been at home with also my little one, trying to juggle a 3-year-old, trying to provide a little bit of structure. But as I've been connecting with a few students and following up with a student that had tested positive, it's just keeps your life in perspective and wanting to help that person more. But with that, like, there's so many limitations, right? So you can only be a person that can be listening to and can provide them moral support through just speaking and checking in with her. That she was very grateful, and I kind of saw for a couple of weeks that she was progressing and having a little bit of struggles with getting into the medical center because she was still having fever, right? She was returned home and she was finally able to see a doctor and feel better. I think she's doing much better, but she's being under observation as well, right? Because it could be a relapse as well. But I am so grateful to be part of Upper Scholars. I've been, the board and Linda and Diana have been very supportive, and just being able to learn the stories, each unique story of our students, is just being inspirational to me, how our students make it in this area, in this area where we live, and how they all come together as a family unit. And that it's been hard sometimes to get a hold of them, to help them, because I guess sometimes they just don't like to ask for help, right? They've just been doing it all by themselves, that they're just don't know where to go, even though you're providing them with all the services and all the resources. They won't act on it, right? And sometimes maybe a little bit of pride, right? Because you've been doing it all by yourself and you've been surviving, and all of a sudden you're in this position that you have to reach out to somebody and ask for a voucher, right? Even to buy groceries, which is really hard for parents to do. But we are here. and continuing to communicate with our students. We will continue to communicate with you, with our tutors. I am recruiting tutors, and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about the conversation partners later, but it was a way for us to get some people to get involved with us virtually. And we've been getting some folks as far as Morocco helping us with one student practice her English skills, because a lot of our students are still at home and have not had the opportunity now to be in the class to practice at least 1 or 2 hours of their English, right? So we were just trying to continue to support them as much as we can. Thank you.
Milena, that's a great segue. Linda, there's a good question here around how's the new English conversation online going, and do you need more speaking partners?
Yeah.
It's going well. We already have 7 pairs, but I know I'm slowing down a little bit right now because students are in finals. So I'm hoping that will pick up after May 22nd. But I have like 7 new interested folks that are in that would like to help with that. I just need to get students to get involved. There's one more additional thing that they have to juggle, right? It's like the schedule's time, but it's working out very well, I think, from what I've been hearing. It takes between 45 minutes to 60 minutes session once a week, or you can break it 2 or 3 times a week for 15 minutes or 20 minutes as a way to connect. And for me, it was more like, let's connect our students with somebody else. And it's important to be video chat, because we like them to see each other, and then it's easier for the conversation partner to provide feedback, right? This is a very different from the tutoring program where the volunteers are not helping them with the homework, and it's just the conversation aspect of it, which will include providing feedback on vocabulary and pronunciation and a little bit of sentence structure, but in a more gentle, friendly, relaxed way rather than having to do homework, right? So because the summer sessions will also be online, we have extended this conversation pilot through the summer, and then we'll see how it goes after that. If the fall classes will also be online, I'm hoping that it will continue, and if there's some students that will be interested in it, it would be great. I have very enthusiastic volunteers. I just don't have enough students right now because they're all juggling with finals, and they're trying to also find a little bit of time to meet, but they want to have to practice with somebody. It's just like the timing is a little bit, but I will let you guys know.
Okay, great. And we do see some volunteers as well as students expressing interest. So we'll circle that back to you, Milena. So Linda, another question came in privately to me. How has a student's relationship changed with their tutor, or conversely, how has the tutor relationship changed with their student as a result of going virtual?
Thank you for that question. You know, we have so many tutors on this call that I'd much rather pitch it to a few of you. So maybe John, if you don't mind sharing, you and Luis, I love that on my screen, at least you show up next to each other, given that you're matched as tutor and tutee. So John, if you don't mind sharing.
Well, Luis and I are conducting our sessions pretty much as normal. Luis reaches out when he needs help, and there's back and forth. And while I miss seeing him in person, I think we're able to still get the help and the get to the end point that we need with his papers and his classes. What do you think, Luis?
Oh yeah, as John mentioned, so I also miss meeting with him because we were used to meet. We have been working for perhaps three years in a row, but when everything started, so we arranged to meet through Zoom. And at the beginning, we didn't know how it worked, but now I think that we are getting better. And yeah, I can contact him and he can help me and give me his feedback. And yeah, he told me that I can contact him any day and let him know that I need his help. So he's pretty available and the help is still there.
Thank you. Thank you. Erica, you're also one of our tutors. How have you been working with Cristina now that you're not seeing each other face to face? What platform are you using, or how often?
Well, we've mostly been working actually through Google Docs because she has papers right now and they're pretty close to being final. So we didn't really need to meet face to face over the last couple weeks. So we had some FaceTime calls early on, but mostly it's been just through me putting comments into her Google Docs, and we can pose questions to each other that way.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much. Julie, maybe another question or the last question so we can close up on time, or?
Yeah, we had several questions really about how people could contribute. Let's just, I'm going to scroll back up. They were early on. How are we managing budget-wise, with these extra expenses? There was a question around, do we need more donations specific to grocery gift cards? So just in general, what's your sentiment around that?
Sure. So we definitely, went back as a board and revised the budget so that we could also do some shifting around for additional expenses that we knew we would have now. So getting laptops into the hands of students now and not waiting until our next laptop event in the fall, for example. Also the food voucher program, although I described sort of flipping it to a grocery gift card program, we've actually now since doubled what we would be spending on it. And so even though, again, $175 gift card may not sound like a lot and may not go very far for a student, it represents a significant increase in our budget. So if we do this again in June, for example, in a couple of weeks, then we're like, that particular line item in the budget has grown very, very much. I think like every nonprofit, we need operational funds in general because that allows us to say, okay, we need to spend a little bit more money on food, we need to spend a little bit more money on laptops now in the moment. We need to, one of the things we'll have to be doing this summer and also in the fall is our students will have to order their books online through the bookstores. And so there's additional shipping fee to get those books to the students' homes. And so the bookstores, we reached out to all 3 of the bookstores at San Mateo Community College District, and they all came back and said, yeah, somebody's got to pay for this. We can't. So are you going to pay for it as Upward Scholars, or are we going to bill the student? And I said, oh, no, you can't bill the student. Like, again, I know that our community will come together. I know that we will revisit the budget. And so if you continue to give to us generally, it allows me to be able to make those decisions as the executive director and to say, we're going to use this money, and it's not like held and restricted in one fund, but I'm going to move it over. I'm going to cover the shipping costs because there's no reason that a student should have to pay for this when we know they're not even earning a living right now. And so we will take on that additional expense to make sure that they get the books they need. So you trusting us as an organization, right, and giving to us generally is probably the best thing that can happen in this crisis situation that we're in. Thank you for that question, everybody.
Yeah. And also it's important to note that, while summer is upon us, summer session is happening, right, Linda? Like distance learning is still in play.
Yes.
And so we're still supporting our students with regards to the summer session.
Yes, we have over 50 students who have already enrolled for summer. I expect that our numbers for summer will probably actually be larger than last year. We were at about 100. I expect that more students who are at home will take advantage of summer courses because they're online and because they're not limited to having to leave work to go to the class. And we know that even though there hasn't been a formal call for fall on whether it will be a blend situation, it will not all be in person. And so more of those classes and more of those professors are already making calls on having their classes be online. So again, additional expenses that come with that, but additional opportunity to be able to support more students as well.
Great. So for those questions or comments we weren't able to address, we'll circle back with you offline. I would encourage you all to read the chat window. It looks like there's some great new bits of information that attendees offered. So thank you for that. So Linda, just keeping us on track, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Yes, thank you. Manny, I'm going to ask you to get our other slide going here for us as we're getting close to closing, and I apologize that we've gone a little over, but look at this, we're in line. Many of you are asking how to continue to support us. And so you can tell your friends or family about Upward Scholars. You can become a tutor, a mentor, an English conversation partner. You can hire one of our Habla Más coaches. You know, one of our students, Brenda, has been on this call and doing really well with that. I'm sorry we didn't have time to hear from her. You can donate, donate, donate. You can follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn to hear how all of the updates that we'll continue to provide. You know, and there's folks like on this call too that are already serving as tutors and mentors, who I'm sure that we could also put you in contact with if you have more questions about what it's like to be a tutor. So feel free to reach out to me directly. You have my email address there on the screen, my direct phone number. And because that's direct, I don't know when it's a work call or a personal call. I did have somebody call me the other night after 9 o'clock, and I took the call because I thought, you never know, it could be family, my birth family, it could be my Upward Scholars family. And it was actually ended up being this woman from the nonprofit that we might do this new partnership with. And she was like, oh, I had no idea you'd answer the phone. She was thinking it would go to like a traditional voicemail. And I was like, no, it comes to my phone. And I just, because we're in this crisis, I feel like I have to take every call when I can. So thank you all for what you've done. You know, a number of you have already given. Those of you who haven't and maybe traditionally give later in the year, please consider giving now. Consider if you can increase, 5% your donation, whatever that might be, that makes sense for you. I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to reach out. Let us know what you liked about today. Let us know what you'd like to hear next. Maybe Manny, you could go ahead and put us on gallery view again and all of us, so that we get a chance to hear each other's voices as we say goodbye, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What a wonderful gathering. Thank you so much.
It was great.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support, everyone.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Take care.
Go Upward Scholars. Yay.
Thank you.
It was great.
I'm going to make a donation right now.
Oh, thank you, Carrie. I love it.